Hey guys. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Bad, thank you. Collecting waters.
Oh yeah. So I've been doing
more
that.
hydrated.
I've been doing that. I've been taking it to my room at night, and so like 'cause I always get thirsty in the middle of the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, our readers are aspiring actors.
Okay,
They
cool.
submitted some questions for you guys.
Oh,
And
amazing.
One of them is, how do you get on Netflix? How did you guys hear about these parts?
Well, I have an agent and a manager, and so when I got a breakdown email that I had an audition, but for someone who is trying to break into the industry, I would suggest that they get with an agent and a manager. That's who sends me my appointments. So.
So, because I'm based in London, I've go through the beginning of how to get there. I guess would be I did a lot of my own work, doing films and theatre and stuff, and all of the networking, meeting people, going to the theatre, meeting people at functions, whatever, snowballs into meeting agents and meeting people who are interested and believe in you and have seen you act and that. And so, to cut long story short, you go through a couple of rubbish agents or whatever, and got to my agent who I'm with now, who is fantastic, and then did some English work, and then eventually got an American manager when it got a bit more international, and got the audition through him, and then I self-taped it from England, and then got the job. Someone hired me somehow, and now I'm here.
So you're able to break the fourth wall, kind of?
Yeah.
Which is shown a lot in the trailer. What's that like?
It was new for me, not something that I'd ever done before. It's interesting. The first time I spoke with Matthew for the first time, we had a scene together, and I think it was him that broke the ice and said, "Hey, so what's breaking the fourth wall like? What's talking to camera like?" And I was like, "Oh, it's really interesting. I'm getting used to it." One of the weirder things about it is the fact that you can see yourself in the reflection of the lens. And before I could even say before you can see yourself, he was like, the fact that you can see yourself in the lens. And I was like, yeah, man, that's how do you know? He's like, that was one of the things that I had to get over as well. So it was interesting to see that he dealt with the same thing that I was dealing with at the beginning. But I really like it. I think it's a nice way to invite the audience on the journey that we're coming on, to kind of set up the show and explain the way, because this apocalypse is different than most apocalypses, so it kind of sets up the world that we live in.
How did you guys prepare for the roles? Did you watch a lot of apocalyptic movies, or?
I love all kind of films, but apocalypse and zombies was never something that immediately was attractive to me, and I wanted to go into this really fresh, and I don't think I was ready for when we turned up on set and there's 200 school kids dressed as ghouly jocks running around with knives coming out of their elbows and stuff and golf sticks, so that kind of stuff is crazy, but it's high school, we've all been there, and it was interesting to go back, and we were just talking about when we stepped onto the set, they built this high school, and so much of it was done for us, we were there already in the world, we're in Albuquerque, we're in the full desert where the apocalypse would be most sort of brutal.
Absolutely. It was definitely easy to escape in the scenario that the crew created for us. They created such a beautiful set for us, such amazing costumes from Michael Brown, our costume designer, so it was really easy to kind of, once the cameras were all set and we were in this apocalyptic environment, it was easy to press play and just kind of play.
So
No.
we remember you as Sam Winchester
Yeah.
from Supernatural, and he also dealt with his share of apocalypse. So
I'll
how
say.
is your character in Daybreak different from Sam?
I think that Sam and Dean, they deal with Sam and Dean, it's their duty, it's their job to save the world, or at least they think it is, especially after their father has left. Whereas Josh, I feel like when he's plopped into the apocalypse, he goes from being a C person, a C student, an average guy in school, to being the best version of himself. And I think that's kind of the shift, Sam and Dean are always striving to save the day, and I feel like Josh just wants to fit in. So I think that where Sam and Dean are much more leaders in their own right, Josh is a leader by his peers would call him a leader, but I don't think that he would ever self-describe himself as a leader. So I think that's where they're a little bit different. I think that he's a little more timid, and when the apocalypse comes, he just wants to find Sam and live the best version of his life that he can live.
But it's interesting that the wants of Josh, as much as he changes before and after the apocalypse, his needs of like just wanting to fit in doesn't.
Right.
So it's kind of like showing how you adapt to that in a different environment. It's like a basic idea of change.
Absolutely.
Like just in an apocalypse.
No, yeah. I think that he has he wants to fit in somewhere. He wants to have a home, and it takes other people being like, "Hey, we're here. We want to be part of your family." For him to be like, "Oh, I could. This could be home for me."
Is there anything that you guys can tease about your character's journey for the show so far?
I think, you know what, you can't guess what's going to happen in this show. Like, it's so bonkers, and every character's journey, it just goes in a way that we had no idea. Like, we were getting the scripts whilst we were filming, and we were like, well, phoning each other, did you write episode 8? Do you know what happens? This is crazy. And it's nice to know that each character gets their own story told in the episodes, so that's something definitely to look forward to, I think.
I'm trying to think of something to tease. I was gonna say say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you never know what might happen to someone if they get bit by a ghoul.
So what do you think makes Daybreak so unique?
I think
we're going to say the same thing. I think we're going to say the fact that it's just never seen anything. Not like anything that we've ever seen before. There's nothing like it out there. The only way to describe it when people ask me, and quickly, I give them like 3 movie titles: Mad Max, Zombieland, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Which don't go together.
Well, it's genre bending.
Right.
Like, it's a coming of age story. It's a samurai saga. It's a comedy. It's a drama. It's an action film. It's got a pulsating score. It's like, it does have everything. It's like, it's something that we're all really proud of because of that. I think that's really like the main thing.
The originality is so
and the characters are so unique, and like you don't get to see.
They're uniquely relatable, though.
Yeah, but like if all of us 7 walked down the street, people would be like, "Where are they going?" Like, even when we're in Albuquerque, they'd be like, "Who is this group of people?" Like,
right.
We don't match, but we all do, and it's that beauty of like not everyone has to be the same to come together, and like I think that's what's really nice about the show.
So after your experience in the show, what would you pick for your weapon of choice for the apocalypse?
What would you pick?
I did, yeah. But they don't go in the show. No.
I know. But you can
I really wanted nunchucks in the show. Okay, I really pushed for it. I think I'd have them. Although I just feel like it's so quick. You've got to have something which you can do quick. Like, even if you have a sword or something, you've got to learn.
I feel like if you have a sword, you also got to have like throwing knives as well.
I'd have a saucepan.
What?
Like a frying pan? I don't know what you guys
Saucepan. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like the girl in Tangled. She's getting stuff done. She's not messing about.
What tribe would you guys be with?
I think I would be part of the Daybreakers.
The Daybreakers?
I think I would be part of the Daybreakers.
Yeah, I mean, we know them the best, and like they're the most interesting in that. They're like eclectic. They're like everyone.
Unique, yeah. It's like it's kind of like the Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah, and everyone's there because they're searching for something that can be satisfied in the tribe. It's
I think
not
everybody's
like
looking for family.
yeah, it's a family tribe. Whilst like the Chimazons are a bit more like vacuous, they're a bit more like they're strong and it's very tough. And it's like, look, the apocalypse is hard enough. You don't have to all pretend that you're all so tough. Like, let's all just take step back and But I mean, it is cool. Like when they were casting all the tribes and everyone was coming in, it was like, oh, that's exactly how I imagined the 4-H tribe.
Me too.
Like the Baker Boy. What was it called? The Bake Street Boys? No, I think we should do that up. That's
I like that though.
Bake Street Boys.
The Bake Street Boys. I like that. We should use that.
Baker Boy. Bake Street.
The gamers.
They like baking.
The gamers.
The gamers. The science people. Is that 4-H?
That's 4-H. Well, they're the I don't know what the right word is. They farm the land.
Oh, they're the farmers.
Farmers.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting to see, like, I bet there'll be some sort of like BuzzFeed quiz, which is like, which tribe do you belong to? And I'm going to take it and be like, oh, I wonder which one I belong to.
How many groups are there?
There's a lot.
And they grow, like, there's more and more.
There's more that we don't see as well, and that, you know, there's definitely much more room for Daybreak to grow.
Yeah. We've just done Glendale, so.
There's quite a bit we haven't seen yet, but I'd say there's a good.
It's already like 30.
I'd say there's a good 10 tribes.
Plus,
Yeah.
Remember when they did that list on the board?
I know.
That was crazy. But yeah, there's
On the map.
Yeah. It is exciting hearing them like create ideas. What's next?
Are you already into filming the whole season, or like how far?
Oh yeah, we wrapped in April. So yeah, we've done.
Sorry guys, we need to wrap it up here.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Colin. Yeah, tell about the story.